Hey guys, welcome back. It is currently Saturday morning and I'm just out walking a dog, and I thought I'd bring you along with me for a bit of a day in the life. So when I get home from walking Max, I'm actually heading out for some lunch, so I'm looking forward to that. And then this afternoon I have another groundwork lesson with Jodie, so I thought I'd bring you along and we could spend the day together. So before we got started today, I did some of the bodywork bits that we learned in our last lesson in the stable before coming through to the arena, so that Dalco was self-aware and feeling nice and relaxed going into today's session, so that we could get straight on to the next step, which for us is lunging. So Jodie actually starts this lesson and she introduces Dalco to the lunging and begins by turning the hind leg and getting him to move out onto the circle. And then she uses the short schooling whip as a cue for energy, pace, attention, and also uses it to move his body, like if we need more bend through his ribs or to correct his shoulder if he starts falling out or becomes a bit closed in the chest. So she does this on both reins with Dalco until he is happy and he understands. He does pick it up quite quickly because lunging is something that I've always done with him, but I've always done it in a more traditional sense rather than with a focus on the groundwork. So although this is new for him, he does have an idea of what it is that we're asking of him. So again, he picks it up quite quickly. Then it was my turn. So I've never lunged in this way before, so Jodie kindly walked me through it, and it was a bit of a learning for me. And it's quite a lot to think about, especially ensuring that my energy and cues are accurate so that I'm not confusing Dalco, and also that I'm quick enough to reward him. So I need to be really fast to react when he does the right thing so that I'm rewarding the right behavior. And also remembering to make sure that my vocal cues are consistent. Like, for example, a click is used for forward energy, like a and a shush shh for rein back. I need to remember not to click when asking him to go backwards, and I did find that I was doing that a lot. Again, because I don't want to confuse him and give him mixed signals. So yeah, just trying to be really accurate and remember everything. And one thing that Jodie picked up on is that Dalco is quite closed and tight in the chest. She actually mentioned this in our very first lesson a few weeks ago. Um, so this time, before turning the hind leg and starting the circle, she got me to ask Dalco for a rein back with flexion to get him to open up his offside front fore and chest and then go to turn the hind leg, which I thought was really interesting because I do lunge him once, sometimes twice a week, but in a conventional way. And by incorporating the groundwork, it ensures that he has a good posture and is soft and relaxed from the start, instead of trying to find that softness and relaxation within the session. And again, to stop, this is something that I'm learning that I've never done before. So with the whip, Jodie has taught me to lower my energy by crouching and then pushing the hind legs away with the stick, which is just used as an extension of my arm or leg, depending on where you were placing it. And then ask him to turn the hind leg and come to a halt that way so that we finish nice and soft. And then we just do the same again on the other rein. And you can see that his focus kind of comes and goes and he kind of zones out a little bit here and there. And that's when I raise the whip to bring the energy back in and wake him up a bit. But I was quite happy with how long he was maintaining the good posture for. He was definitely getting a good few strides, maybe 4 or 5 strides before losing it. So I thought that was really, really good. Once we're both happy, we then moved on to trot. And bless Dalco, this way of working is completely new to him and he doesn't understand the aids, but he's really trying and he does pick it up quite quickly. So Jodie starts him off on one rein and then I pick him up and do the other one. And because I'm a novice at this, I did have to ask for trot a couple of times with a touch and a press of the whip where my leg would go. And he's just a bit like, oh, I'm not sure. So I just keep asking until he offers trot and give him lots of praise. And as soon as he settles into it, I then asked him quietly for walk by lowering my energy, pushing away the hind leg and getting him to halt. And then we called it a day there. And I'm hoping that this should teach him that when he does it well, he then gets to rest. And they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but look how much he's learned and picked up today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've just put Dalco to bed. He's been a really, really good boy. I was super pleased with him, and it's just started raining. So I'm going to go home now, get a shower, and get some tea, and I will see you very soon.